Hey, everybody, welcome.
Hey.
We're glad you guys are here. Over here we have DeWanda.
Yeah.
I can't turn my finger that way.
There you go.
Over here we have Mike. And I am your ringleader for the evening, Irish Melly. And I say ringleader because, you know, the funny part is usually DeWanda is our ringleader. She reels everybody back in.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel like I am the ringleader of my family at the moment, and I am running a circus.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we're now done with Freak Show. Maybe we should have waited.
Right?
Right?
See, I always live in a freak show. So how are you guys doing this evening? We hope you're all doing well.
Yep.
We wanted to bring you guys a little something special for the holiday, something that a little bonus feature. So we have some AHS behind the scenes fun facts for you guys. So we are going to go over about 33 to 35 facts that you may or may not know. If you do know, pardon us, not everybody does, but some of these you may not know. So go in with an open mind, learning that you may learn a little bit something new about your favorite series.
That's right.
And if any of you have anything that you think that we might not know, leave it in the comments down below of this video.
Down here.
So we have it for later, because you never know.
We love reading your guys' comments. We love it. And we would love to share some of those with you guys, some of those hidden info, insider tips, which I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to name names, but I have an inkling that we might get a few of those from a certain someone.
Probably.
So we look forward to reading those with you guys, and we will be going over those comments on our next video. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that coming when we begin Hotel.
Who's the insider?
Who?
You said we have an insider.
I said I'm not going to name names.
We're not naming names.
He knows who she is.
Yeah. We're not naming names.
I'm not saying it rhymes with Webby or anything.
Nope. And she's not the only one. I mean, we've got a few.
Oh God, I know. I can't wait till we get a good Theory Thursday going, you guys.
Right? Yeah,
it's coming soon. It's coming soon. We promise you guys.
Yes.
All right. So, are you guys ready to dive into this?
Let's do it.
All right. So, number one, Ryan Murphy's concept for American Horror Story came from wanting to write darker, more horrific content after he started working on Glee. He said, I was like, I can't write any more nice speeches for these Glee kids. And that's cool. That's cool because that's showing you, like, Ryan Murphy deep down is a horror head like myself.
Yeah.
Like, this is, you know, he's showing that people think about these dark things, whether we want to talk about them or not. Now, whether people think about doing it or they just think about it, it's two different things. But those are two things that he touches on throughout this series, is the darkness of our minds and whether we act on that darkness or not, and what causes us to do that, and what is the consequence from us doing that. And I love that. It really makes you think.
I remember when American Horror Story first landed, I was like, I cannot believe the same person who wrote Glee just did this. It's a complete departure.
I couldn't believe when I saw Glee, I was like, wait, the guys who just wrote Nip Tuck are writing a teenage musical type of show. And that's why I never got into it. I never got into it because I could not see it.
I didn't get into it until after it aired. Once it was done, then I got into it. But
I watched Glee live. That was my thing. That was me in high school.
Yeah.
Well, and afterwards, what I saw was great, but it was not the topic and the storyline that I was expecting from the people it came.
I know.
So it's hard for me to jump on board. So I'm so glad though that he did end up with American Horror Story after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. Unlike most TV shows, American Horror Story is still shot on film, a tradition that was started by Chris Baffa during Murder House. That's interesting. It's still to this day shot on film.
I didn't know.
Not a lot of Hollywood projects are.
Nope.
They're going back to it these days. Seems to be a
Well,
trend.
yeah, because you see even like vinyl. Vinyl's huge again.
Yeah.
Whoever thought that would happen? Seriously.
Whoever
Like,
thought it would
oh
come
my
back.
God. Right here. What the fuck?
Well, there's also
A-Track comes back. I'm going to shit
I
myself.
know. I love A-Tracks.
There's also programs out there that filmmakers use now to make it look like film, even though it's digital. Make it look grainy.
A lot of them use that now. That technology.
Look at Lighthouse. Look at the Lighthouse. It was nominated this year. That looked like it was shot in the 1940s celluloid.
No, the Lighthouse was shot on film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually shot only on black and white film. It was not shot in color.
Right.
No.
They'll probably have behind the scenes photos and stuff that are in color, but that's separate. That's stuff they took obviously with different photography. But the actual film itself was only filmed on black and white, actual 35 millimeter film.
You want to talk about some back crazy ass shit ass film? That's crazy.
That's why it took a long time to come out, because editing was a pain and took a long time.
Right.
And then scenes, you just like back in the day when they had that, you only have so much. I mean, yeah, they have more now because they have the budgets and they could afford it, but you only have so much, which means you don't have the shots to keep screwing up and messing up. And if you do, it could be your job, because they're going to find somebody who can do the job and save them money.
Right.
Yep.
So, all right, number 3. Sarah Paulson and Ryan Murphy first met in 2004 when they both wrapped shows on the WB.
Okay.
Do we know what shows they were?
I do not know, and I was trying to think about that.
Well, it wouldn't be Glee, because that was Fox.
I don't remember Ryan having a show on WB. I could totally be wrong, but I don't remember Sarah being on the WB, and I used to watch the WB.
I don't either.
But I didn't really watch it in 2004, so maybe that's why I wouldn't know.
Right.
But I used to watch it all the time. Charmed was my thing, and that was a WB show. CW, WB, whatever it changed to.
Hold on. I mute. My sister's calling. Hold on. I'll mute. I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Mute your mic.
Oh, was?
Can you mute him?
Michael, mute your mic.
So what time?
Can you mute him?
I'll do it.
There we go. Okay. We don't want any of his personal business getting
No, I don't want his personal stuff getting out.
All right. Number 4. Before casting Paulson in AHS, Murphy originally wanted her to play Emma Pillsbury on Glee. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. I totally can't picture that.
I couldn't either. No. Not even in the slightest. Like, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
All right, number 5. Jessica Lange and Sarah Paulson previously worked together on Broadway in the Glass Menagerie.
Hold on.
He's still talking. Is he on the phone, or does he know we can't?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Hello. There you go.
I'm all talking. My mic is muted.
We muted you because we were talking. We didn't want your personal business out there.
Oh, it wasn't muted?
No, you didn't mute it. So Dawn muted it.
Okay.
You're good.
I thought I did.
Okay. Anyway, go back to the Emma Pillsbury thing, because he didn't get to hear that.
Oh,
that's gonna make his mouth drop.
Before casting Paulson in AHS, Murphy originally wanted her to play the Emma Pillsbury role on Glee.
Can you picture that?
Sarah? No,
Yeah,
I mean, at the time, sure. I mean, I think she would do great with Matthew Morrison. But now that what's her face did Emma,
yeah,
it would be totally different character. You can't see anybody else. Yeah, but Sarah would have been fine. Sarah was a lot younger then, but you can't keep anybody else but her doing that role that did Emma. What was her name from Scary Movie? Allison something or other.
Shit. No, it's not Allison. But anyway, I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of her name right now.
Yeah, she's
from Anna Faris.
Huh? No.
Yeah, Anna Faris.
Anna Faris.
It wasn't Anna Faris.
No, Anna Faris.
Anna Faris.
Who was the
anyway? Number
6.
Number 6.
Jessica helped Sarah get cast in Murder House. At a benefit, she reportedly turned to Murphy and said, "Can't you find something for Paulson to do?" Totally sounds like something Jessica would do. Tap him
exactly that way too.
He turns around and she says, "Can't you find something for Paulson to do?" Wink, wink. You know what I mean? Oh God. Can you imagine being able to name drop Jessica Lange?
Oh, the girl who plays Emma Pillsbury, her name is Gemma Mace.
There you go. She reminds me of Anna Faris.
Yeah.
Slightly,
but yeah.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Evan Peters was originally interested in acting because he wanted to meet the Olsen twins.
Yeah, I remember him saying that in an interview.
All right, Evan.
That was his original reason for wanting to be an actor.
And now he probably wouldn't want either one of them. Oh my goodness, these poor girls, what they've been through and what they've put themselves through, but they are hot messes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And early for you. Their parents pimped them out, man. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number 8. Now, Michael, no eye rolling. Neil Patrick Harris and David Burtka turned down being the couple that once owned the house in Murder House.
Yes.
They turned down the Chad and Patrick group.
Yes.
Yep.
David Burtka said no.
Yep.
He said no.
That's why we eventually see Neil. Didn't David have a small role in there too? Wasn't he?
Yeah. They were both.
Yeah, he was the executive that she went to at the very end of the last episode.
Wait, what?
She was the executive. He was the executive in the office where she went to in the last episode, where she was begging to be seen on TV.
He's the one. He's the one that married Elsa Mars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So so they both eventually do end up in American Horror Story. They both end up in Freak Show.
Well, bit of trivia: David Burtka turned the role down, or told Neil to turn the role down because he did not want to be portrayed as their normal selves, because they were basically asking him to be just a gay couple, and Burtka didn't want that.
And they didn't want to do that, so they turned it down.
Which I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because I don't know that I would have liked Neil in that role.
Yeah.
It would have been way too evil for Neil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even Chester was borderline for me. The only reason Chester was acceptable to me was because he had that plate in his head. He had been through war. It was a traumatic injury that caused all of these voices and the problems, and the doll thing and the wife thing didn't help. But you felt bad for the guy. He was crazy, and he unfortunately became that way, trying to do something good. So it's so I totally understand that. But even that, still, the way that he ends up killing people and stuff was borderline for Neil.
Mm-hmm.
So
because it's weird seeing Neil in those roles.
Because that's totally not his personality.
I mean, it's Doogie,
Number 9, crotch shot.
Not quite, almost. There we go.
I saw up the pant leg.
It was close.
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
Evan Peters had to be lubricated head to toe in order to get into the rubber man suit. The costume was so tight that he tore a lot of suits while doing the stunts. Now, let me also mention and clarify that. Evan Peters did not do most of the stunt work and most of the work as Rubberman. It was someone completely different. But he did have to wear the suit, and I know they said it was super hot for him too, and super uncomfortable. But he did have to wear it to do some stunts, like the fight scene with Dylan.
I don't think he did the fight scene. He only did the scenes where the head was removed.
Right, that's what I'm
When he
thinking.
had to
That's
take the
when
head
his
off,
face was
or he
removed.
break it.
And that's when he did. That was one of the scenes he did. Any other one was, like Mike said, was one where he had to remove his mask and things like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 10.
Just like another bit of trivia, a little off topic. Did you know that in The Mandalorian, this is a really hot topic right now. The Mandalorian, what's his face that plays the Mandalorian, was never in the suit. He only did shot one scene, and that was the scene at the very end when he removed the helmet.
And isn't
Everything
it
else,
crazy how that happens in movies and TV all the time,
that
and that's the
entire
person who
role,
gets credit for the role?
that entire role was played by somebody else, and all he did was give the voice.
Isn't that
And
crazy?
that stunt actor is uncredited.
People never remember their name. Like,
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, I've been doing some investigative research myself. And, that right there is a perfect example of the stunt woman who is the original person who played Scappet in Roanoke. Right. We never get named. It's just credited as stunt woman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been doing some research. I have some theories.
This guy carried a whole freaking season in Mandalorian. He was the lead role, uncredited. Crazy.
Yeah.
But they make good money. They do.
Yeah.
They make good money.
Yep.
All right. Number 10.
Number 10.
The crew hand-built the entire interior set for Asylum. Over 50 to 60 carpenters helped assemble it.
Of what? Asylum?
Yes, Asylum. The interior of Asylum. The interior of the Asylum.
Well, that was all done. Was that all
Which
done?
Which is basically the whole season.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much. It was. I mean, they built they built it so that they can redress it. For all them different time zones, like with what's his face in the beginning, and then you had the expose at the end. So they actually built the interiors like it was a standing building.
Right.
But it was done on soundstage.
Number 11. After filming intense scenes for Asylum, Lily Rabe and Zachary Quinto would play the guitar and the banjo for the cast and the crew. I knew about Zachary playing the banjo. I didn't know about Lily playing the guitar.
I didn't know that.
I love that. That makes me love her even more. Like, oh my God, she plays the guitar. Can you imagine her just sitting there with an acoustic, just her hair down, just singing some Stevie Nicks, some Fleetwood Mac?
Well, that I didn't even know. It's like watching Matthew Morrison play the ukulele because he plays that.
Yeah, totally.
Matthew Morrison talented.
In fact, number 12.
Talented Matthew Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12. In fact, Jessica suggested doing the Name Game musical number because she wanted to do something light after filming such a dark season.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, even though that scene is really dark. It is the one little bit of lightness in the darkness.
And
but it's still so sad because you see that it's not even a light. It really is still the darkness. So it's like, it's showing the mental mind fuck that you're getting, but it's showing what she's going through.
Yeah, but it's nice that they put it right in the middle of the season too.
Yes, to break it up.
Smack dab in the middle.
Just to break it up. Yeah, the monotony of it. 13. Sarah Paulson signed on to play Lana Winters without even knowing what the role was or was about.
Wow.
And that was season 2. That's how much he believed in Ryan after one season of having like 2 scenes. Yep. I mean, she had more than that, but you know what I mean. She wasn't a main character at all in Murder House.
No.
She was totally a secondary side character. I mean, yes, we see her later too, but Murder House alone, she was just a secondary side character. But she was great.
And she was one of the ones that carried that season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She cleaned everything. All right. Number 14. The first scene that Sarah Paulson shot as Lana was when she undergoes shock therapy.
Oh.
So you're not knowing anything about the role. Your first scene you shoot is shock therapy. You're like, where's the rest of this season going from here?
And where are we going to go from here? That is
that means pretty much a lot of them probably that was their first day or early days doing shock theory, because they would have done all those scenes kind of together. They use that room, that set.
Number 15. Sarah's work in Asylum was some of the hardest and most emotionally draining acting that she's ever done, she said. She said, I quote, "There were moments where I did go into a corner on the set and just bawl my eyes out because it was just a very traumatic thing to play."
Yeah.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
And I'm sure she had the same problem with Colt too, because.
Well, Colt, we'll get to that. Number 16, Dennis O'Hare's makeup for Spalding in Coven was partially inspired by Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is very obvious when you look at it. It makes so much sense, but just the validation that is what the inspiration was is cool.
Yeah, and the fact that Queenie actually calls him Riff Raff just makes me laugh every single time.
Right. I love that. Because that was written in on purpose.
Yeah.
17. For the first few episodes of Coven, when Cordelia loses her sight, Paulson actually couldn't see because of the contact lenses she had to wear. They later gave her a set of contacts where she could partially see.
Ugh, that would make me crazy. I would not be able to do that.
Oh, can you imagine just bumping into everything? You have to have somebody walk you everywhere because it's a set. Yeah. You're building it. You haven't had time to memorize this in your brain where you can walk around.
Oh,
right.
No.
And stuff is constantly moving. Right. That's like a nightmare for a blind person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Number 18.
Kathy Bates' Baltimore accent in Freak Show was so difficult to learn that she even talked with it off screen.
No, we know that. She's
method. Makes very much sense because we know Kathy's very method. But I could see her like just going straight, strict method and just keeping that accent for months.
Yeah, the way she talks about it now, the way she talks about it now was she just kind of created that, trying out different accents, and it was kind of a combination that stuck.
So she just kept it.
Yeah, she's kept what was working in her head, and she said it was a combination of a couple different.
Yeah, different accents. Number 19. Mm-hmm. Ben Wolfe, who played Meep and Infantata, was actually a preschool teacher in real life. His work on American Horror Story was actually his extra side job.
Yep. Poor Ben.
Which is so cool to me. R.I.P. to Ben Wolfe. But yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having him as your teacher?
He was the sweetest guy on the planet. I would have loved to have met him. I bet you it would have been such just an amazing experience to meet someone of his caliber,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
People like that, it's so genuine, are so rare in the world nowadays. So it would have been nice. So you know what? Just look at all the souls he did touch, though, because I guarantee you, people he did touch will never forget him. I mean, hell, we'll never forget him, and he didn't touch us the same way he did, teachers and parents and friends and family, and
I just love his thing about being a preschool teacher, where he says he was a preschool teacher because it was the place where imagination was celebrated.
Yep.
And it's like that goes to show you his character.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Number 20. Paulson scenes as Bet and Dot in Freak Show took 12 to 15 hours to film each scene.
12 to 15 hours each scene.
Insane. That's crazy.
That's not just Sarah. That's everybody else involved in that mess.
Right.
Because they had to do everything twice.
Yep.
21 goes right along with it. She would record her dialogue as one of the twins and then wear an earpiece and listen to herself while playing the other twin.
Mm-hmm.
That's smart.
That was her idea. She didn't want to hear somebody
else's
else's
voice. She not only had to do that twice, she had to do all of her scenes like 5 or 6 times.
Well, if you're going to hear something, you want to hear yourself.
And then she had to do the visual effects. She had to go in and she had to film it under the visual effects. Plus,
well, that's why it took 12 to 15 hours for each scene.
Crazy. And then I'm surprised she came back and did a lead role in Coven. I'm really surprised after that.
22. Special effects artist created 2 animatronic heads for Bet and Dot. The conjoined twins were a combination of the animatronic heads and special effects created in post-production.
Yep. That Sarah had to go film.
23. Lady Gaga actually contacted Ryan Murphy first, saying that she was interested in a role on AHS.
And that's a shame how it went down for her.
24. Evan Peters was originally supposed to star as Tristan in Hotel, a role that ultimately went to Finn Wittrock.
So glad.
So glad.
I'm so glad too, because if he would have played Tristan, he wouldn't have played March.
Correct.
Yep.
And I don't see Evan as Tristan. Like, I think Finn did an amazing job as Tristan. Like, I couldn't picture, I cannot picture Evan with that, like, red hair streak.
Evan's not that cool. Evan's a little bit more geeky. He's not that cool. He's not that strong.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like in Apocalypse. I mean, no offense, but his gay character just was not that believable to me.
All the his characters in Apocalypse, it was all so cartoony. All of it was so cartoony. It was so unrealistic. The whole thing.
So I don't think he would have put in the same that Finn did with Tristan, and we wouldn't have got the same love story for Liz that we wanted and that we got, you know?
Yeah.
But I digress. 25. He said that the scenes he found the hardest to film, Evan did, were when Mr. March has sex while killing a girl. He said, I blocked them out. I'm like, I can't even think about it.
That's before Colt.
That's was even before Colt, right? Yeah. So, 26. There was an entire room dedicated to Lady Gaga's costumes for a hotel.
No, not surprised there.
27 goes right along with that. Lady Gaga worked closely with costume designers Lou Eric to help create the Countess's costumes. And 28. Designers that previously worked with Lady Gaga sent pieces from their archives and upcoming fashion shows. Original Versace pieces were loaned to the show from Gaga's personal collection as well. Does not surprise me.
Not to digress, but why did Evan Peters not get nominated for Colt?
Exactly.
What is wrong?
Exactly.
Not sure.
Any young male actor can take the season of Colt. Any young male actor can take the season of Colt and dissect that scene by scene and have a whole life acting lesson.
Yeah.
Right there from Evan.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Nominated.
So crazy. The awards were crazy that year, the year after, and now look at this. What we're gonna have no awards? Like, oh my God. I don't know.
We're gonna have no awards, and then we're gonna have a big, huge double award. I
have such a problem with that because he should have swept that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
That always depends on who is, because sometimes people lose out on a nomination because even though they did their best work of their career, the other stuff was just that bigger and better. And I don't remember who got nominated.
It sucks because so much isn't highlighted, so much is lost. But we digress. 29.
I know. I had to put that out there because it still irritates me today. 29.
The cell phone footage used in Roanoke was actually filmed by the actors on their own cell phones.
Yep. Well, not their own cell phones. They gave them the prop cell phones.
Well, right. It was each of them were given a cell phone.
Yeah, that they used in the film. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 30. Despite having appeared in Murder House, Adina Porter had to actually re-audition for her role in Roanoke.
Yeah, I believe it.
Really? I didn't know that.
I do too, because one, it was a long time in between.
Yeah.
2, she didn't have a big role in Murder House.
No.
See what?
So it's not like you're automatically Ryan Murphy family. Like you still got to work for it. Like we're gonna make you family if you earn it.
Yeah, she wasn't part of the company.
Yeah.
No. She was only secondary cast in Murder House.
Correct.
Because she was only in one episode.
Correct.
Now we get into some cult info for you guys, okay? 31. Murphy incorporated Sarah Paulson's real-life phobias into cult, such as clowns, heights, bees, and
trypophobia.
Trypophobia.
Mm-hmm. Trypophobia.
Which is the fear of holes. She has the fear of holes.
Even just the sound of it creeps me out when you think about it, because I start thinking about all the posters.
Yep.
And that's what they wanted. That was the imagery. That was the reaction they were looking for. And they did a great job doing it.
Yeah, that was real.
I've read a few articles with the designer of the posters for just American Horror Story in general. But that
she said it was really tough on her because she's dealing, she had to deal with all of her phobias all at once.
All at one time. But it's therapy, right? They have a therapist on set for her. I would hope anyway. A little bit of Xanax in your purse, just in case. Whatever gets you through, man.
Yeah.
The problem with doing that is, number one, it was to do like realistic type of reactions for her, and I felt that Sarah's performance in Cult came out really forced.
Forced?
Yeah, it just seemed over the top. It seemed really forced.
Well, I think because she was going over the top a little bit from what she was already feeling.
Right.
All right. 32. Peters didn't know that he'd be playing more than one role in Cult until they began filming.
Yeah.
So that you can see right there how that's even more psychologically damaging on him.
Yeah,
because he had no time to prepare. No time to prepare.
But as a union actor, you would think that that would have been negotiated with his agent.
Yeah, but Ryan also likes to keep secrets to hide things from even the cast and the crew until later. He's infamous for that.
With
so it's one of those things where you already know working with Murphy, it's going to happen. Maybe that's in the contract too.
Yeah, it could be that it's they cast as an ensemble member of a season, and that's it. You don't get like a character name or anything.
Not to mention, I don't think it has anything to do with agents. I think it was Ryan trying to keep something because he wanted to keep it close to the hip so that people didn't know what he was doing and working on, because we had so many leaks and problems already. And then he also, Evan did it because it's Ryan Murphy. Like, that's like his dad in a way. Like, that's your family. Like, you guys are already family. Just like Sarah said, when Ryan calls, I'm coming. Anything he wants, I will do for him. You know what I mean? Like, that's how these people are, their loyalty is. So it's also one of those things where Evan wasn't going to dispute it or fight with him. He's like, okay, I'll do my damnedest to perform this for you.
Right.
So
wait, Michael, why are you off camera?
I'm putting this paint stuff away.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. I have paint all over my hands.
All right, so where are we? 33?
Right. 34. Or no, 33. 33. I'm sorry. 33. In Cult, when Meadow is in an open grave, they actually dug a grave at the house where they were filming. On top of that, Billy Eichner actually shoveled real dirt onto Leslie Grossman.
Ew.
Oh, I bet he loved that. Oh,
Yeah,
God. 34. Evan's favorite AHS roles so far have been Tate from Murder House and Mr. March from Hotel.
Yay! Yep. How you got to play Mr. March?
My favorite.
Isn't that crazy? But he talks about how deep and dark March was. But he talks about how it's not him. But it was an amazing role, like, because it was based off of history, and just he did a great job with that. I want to say I could see where it'd be damaging to his psyche, but I see where it's also not as damaging as Colt's.
Oh no, not my fault. Because like March is so unlike Evan, and so like a bigger than life character, whereas Kai is a very real person.
Yeah.
It's very age appropriate for Evan and very just it's him, and to go through that psychological mess that he went through and to carry that whole season like he did as Kai, it really, really screwed him up.
Yeah.
But Marcy's only two
Number
episodes?
35, our final fact is that Sarah Paulson directed her first episode of AHS during Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
She directed the Return to Murder House episode featuring Jessica Lange, Connie Britton, and Dylan McDermott's return to the series.
Yep.
And they had
that's my favorite.
It was an amazing episode. She did a great job with that. And I'm glad she did, because when everybody found out, their expectations were so high. And it was like, I don't want Sarah, I don't want to lose this Sarah can do no wrong mentality. Like, And she did amazing. She did amazing. Better than some of the directors they've had previously.
I felt bad for her when that was filming, because remember the leaks that happened?
All the leaks were happening for that episode because everything had to do with Murder House that was leaking out.
Yeah, and she was pissed. She's
of course. It's her first directing job, and that happens. The security.
Well, you remember one of the first ones was the pictures of Jessica got out. And people were like, oh, she's wearing that same blue dress. Constance is coming back. And it's like, you guys aren't supposed to know all this. Stop it.
Sad. I felt bad for her.
But that's still, of the season, that's my favorite episode of the season.
Yeah, great.
I think everybody's. I mean, even if it was fan service, even if you didn't like what came at the end of the episode itself was great. It was beautifully shot. It was beautifully acted. It was beautifully directed. It was perfect. It was VHS perfection.
I would have preferred that they leave that episode in just as it is, as total fan service, and that be the only fan service. Like one episode of just here you guys go. Thank you for for amazing years. Hopefully the season catered around it.
Well, and then you could even still do the Apocalypse ending that they did. Like, even though we don't like it, they still could have done what they did and then rewrote history so none of it happened anyway to piss everybody off anyway. You still could have done what you did, just like you said, not as much fan service. But we will not get into that. We are pre-recording, which means we need to hurry up. All right. So anyway, we brought you guys 35 amazing behind-the-scenes fun facts from AHS, American Horror Story, for some of you.
And some you may know, and some you may not. If you guys have anything that you think that we don't know, please leave them in the comments below the video so we can go over them and possibly share them with everyone else.
Yeah. And we would love it if you guys would thumbs up and like the video. If you guys could subscribe to our channel, make sure you hit that notification bell so you are notified every single time we upload. We are starting work on Hotel later this week. We are going to be bringing you guys action figure theater. We are going to be bringing you mystery boxes. We are going to be bringing you guys Friday night game night. So we have so much coming out for you guys. Just keep an eye out. Be ready for it, and just know it's coming. We love you. We love you for being here. We love you for being who you are. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care, guys.
Oh, we didn't do a wand.
I didn't push the button yet. We're good.
I didn't have one today.
You don't have one. Okay. All right then.
And we're out.
And we're out.